Welcome back to the Davison intervention.
Yes.
Kenneth, you know your girl like to say it. I love to say it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all know that notification bell is sitting right here. Hit that bell so you'll know when we come in. Because guess what?
Yes.
We come in every Monday.
Yes, that's right.
Every Monday we got a great show for you. And you know I like to check in, see how everybody's doing.
Right.
Kenneth, how we doing?
So far, so good. Like I said, we were in a great state of North Carolina.
We're in a great state, y'all. We're in another state.
Beautiful weather. I mean, you can't ask me. It's about 57, 59, 60 degrees.
Okay.
And just beautiful. Calm, cool, collected. Yes.
I'm feeling great. Y'all,
Yes.
we just finished up a retreat here.
Yes.
Just excited about being here. Just love to get away and just see how other states look.
Yes.
See how their temperatures are, y'all. We can kind of tell it's about to get fall season.
Yeah.
I give you a glimpse of where we at in a few moments.
Yes.
But Kenneth, last week we had a really good show.
Okay, yes.
We talked about where a couple was married.
Right.
And then they were living together, and then they decided to take a break.
Take a break.
And so we're not breaking up, but we're just going to take
Taking a break. They didn't know how long they were going to take a break.
No, they didn't
but
tell
they were
us
just
how
going
long.
to take a break.
Yeah, they knew they had to take a break. So, again, I wanted to ask because I wanted to get deep. And so we got a lot of questions on this.
Right.
When you take a break, what about the kids? Do you consider the kids when you're taking those breaks?
And that's what I was wondering about, because when they told us about it, it seemed like they had children involved.
It was?
But they didn't have the children's welfare at stake here. They thought about themselves, but they didn't think about the children.
So you think at that particular moment, they were just thinking about themselves?
Right. You and I couldn't get along. You know, you and I couldn't get along. So regardless of how the children felt, we're just going to go ahead on, take a break, split up, and co-parent.
So that's what they decided to do.
It didn't seem like they had the children's best interest at heart, even though they said we'll do something with them. But, they hadn't figured it out yet.
Okay.
But they didn't have children's interest at all.
So I'm going to ask you, I always like to ask you those tough questions. So when you went through and I'm his, of course, I'm the second wife. So when you went through yours, you had a son.
Yes.
Y'all had a son. Y'all still have a son.
Yeah, he's still here.
So what was your stance on it? And y'all didn't just say we're going to just take a break and we live two separate lives. Y'all talk about going to the next step.
Right.
By no means, I'm just telling y'all, we're not for divorce.
Right.
We're not advocates for divorces. Right. We're for trying to make sure you stay connected.
Make it happen, right.
So what did you go through during that time? And I always
I think what happened was that kind of gave me an idea to stay. That kind of helped me make my decision on when to leave and when not to leave.
Okay.
Because, when I talked to my son, he asked me, he said, are you going to leave right away? I said, no, I'm going to give it some thought and give it a chance and things like that. So I had this interest at heart also.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to be separated and move and, have to move to another district and things like that because he was still going to school.
I got you.
So I told him, I said, well, I'll give some thought. So I gave it some thought and just waited a little while. And I really waited till he finish school.
So you allowed him to finish school first?
Yes.
Before you made your final decision.
Right.
You had made some type of decision.
Right.
But not a final decision.
Right. Absolutely.
And some type of decision was based on your son.
Yes. And I think that's what parents should look at. Whether you are angry at each other and frustrated at each other. And if it's not anything serious like, maybe physical violence or anything like that, I think we should look at it and say, hey, what about the children involved? Will they suffer if you and I split up for a long period of time? Or will they suffer if we split up for a short period of time?
Because I had a comment. That's why I said this was a top. That's why I really wanted to talk about it today. Because I got an email too. Because someone emailed me and said, okay, why stay for the kids? Because if we're right now in a toxic situation.
Right.
So you and I are toxic.
Okay.
And the relationship is not going well. Why should we stay for the kids? I'm saying we're already toxic. So what you think we doing to the kids? It seems like we damaging more. So that's what they asked me. What y'all saying, you were going to talk about it. So, and they said they hear a lot of people saying we're staying for the kids.
Okay.
So why stay for the kids when it's toxic? Why do that to a child?
Well, see, in the long run, you never know. The child may be the one that brings you back together.
Okay,
you never know.
Tell me what you
never
mean
know.
by that.
Because if you and I are at odds with each other and we're not seeing eye to eye, but if both of us are enjoying what the kids are doing, the kids are having fun, the kids are enjoying the neighbors, their friends in the community and things like that, maybe that might give us some say, okay, look here, let's help the kids out for a minute or two while you and I may be able to talk and try to help our situation get better.
Okay.
You never know.
I got you.
You never know.
I got y'all. Okay, just say that's what we've been doing. We've been coming together for the sake of the kids. But we not getting along. I mean, you and I can't even stand to be around each other.
Right. Right.
So I mean, why we trying to keep pushing this?
Because you never know. You never know. If there's just an inch or an ounce of hope left in a marriage, in a relationship, that's enough to try to reconsider. You see?
Okay.
That's enough to reconsider. You know, because if it, like I said, if it's not bad enough to where we're, violent,
right.
Violence
no
with
physical,
each other,
I agree. No physical
or mental violence with each other. If it's just that you and I just can't get along, we just can't see it eye to eye.
Right.
Maybe we ought to just try to say if we can give it a chance and see if we can help the children work through it like we're trying to work through it. You never know.
And reason why I thought it was a good reason why I wanted to. I'm glad they wrote that question, but reason why I thought it was good because a lot of times couples do stay, and so now you see adults that's struggling with trying to have a healthy relationship, because y'all know that's what we're about, a healthy relationship. So they struggle with having a healthy relationship because they was in so much toxic with their parents.
Yeah.
And so the parents stayed, and so they're toxic. So they never got help. Mm-hmm. So now it's like they don't know how to pass it on and break that cycle to have a healthy relationship. So sometimes you add, and I thought about that. I was like, okay. So, my parents divorced when I was 16.
Yeah, okay.
And so I thought about that. Would it have been healthy for my parents to stay? Because once I was 16, y'all, some of y'all that's listening know I had a really bad attitude, really rebellious. So I just had a whole lot. But to me, I probably would have liked them to stay because even though it was bad, it wasn't toxic.
Okay.
Even though it was bad. Now, I'm going to say that much. Even though it was bad, it wasn't toxic. To me, I was still doing well. I was still able to function. Just everything to me was going well. Let me just say surface level was good.
Yeah.
Underneath, digging deep, it wasn't good.
So let me ask you a question. Would you think that would have helped you be a better person if they would have stayed until you were 18, 19, or 20? Do you think that would have helped you be a better person? You wouldn't have such a bad attitude. You wouldn't have such a negative opinion toward mom and dad if they had stayed until you were 19 or 20 maybe?
I'm glad you asked that question because a lot of times I think about that. I believe, this is just me.
Okay.
I believe that I may not have had that attitude that I had at that stage had they stayed together. Reason why I'm saying that because even though it wasn't the healthiest relationship, and that's why I say I only saw surface, so my surface that I saw to me at my age didn't look bad.
Okay.
That's the point, that's why I'm hitting home.
Okay.
So, and I'm kind of ministering, so even though what I saw didn't look bad, but deep down, they saw that it was bad.
Okay.
They saw it was so bad that it's better for us to not be together. And even though I'm thinking about myself and saying we shouldn't be together, not saying they're not considering this person, I believe the older I've gotten, I believe they believe I was old enough to understand.
Okay.
I was 16.
Yeah.
She's old enough to understand. She's not like a 7 or 8-year-old. So if we split now, she'll be fine. And I was the youngest. I have 2 older siblings, but they felt like I was old enough to understand.
Okay, so with them making that decision, and I'm asking the question now, with them making that decision, they thought that was better for the whole entire family or just for them?
They thought it was better for them.
Okay, not the whole entire family.
I don't think they looked at the family.
Okay.
But and reason why I'm saying that because, and I could be wrong, but I thought they even thought that she could understand.
Okay.
So
you're old enough to understand.
She was old enough to understand. They never brought me in the equation. I don't think usually when a divorce or a separation happens, you don't bring the children in the equation. You don't even discuss it with them. But what I'm saying is I believe that they thought I was old enough to understand.
Okay, let me flip it now. In my situation, because I was similar to yours.
Okay.
I was young, 16 when my parents got there.
Okay.
But my mom and dad flipped it.
Okay.
Because dad asked the question, I think the teenagers want to go with me.
Okay.
Mom said, okay, let's let them make a decision and see what that works out with. So Dad, bless his heart, he's going on to be with the Lord now. Dad asked the question, do you boys, and I don't know why he asked that question, but I guess he thought it was going to be, do you boys want to go with me? Or do you want to go with your mother? And that was the craziest question he probably could have ever asked.
Okay.
We told Dad, who's going to keep the house? Because we want to stay in the community where our family is.
Right.
We want to stay in the community where our kids are.
Right.
Who keep the house? Dad said, I guess your mom's going to keep the house.
Okay.
We said, well, Dad, you just made a decision for us. I'm not laughing about it. I mean, laughing at it now, but it wasn't funny then.
Yeah, right.
We made a decision to Dad. Said, Dad, you can go ahead, but we're going to stay with Mom because we don't want to leave our school. We don't want to leave our friends. We don't want to leave our community. And that's what happened. They gave us a choice in the matter. And so we made the choice to stay with Mom And Dad went ahead on his
So
way.
you think they considered y'all?
They did. They did. Because he's the one who asked the question.
Okay.
He said, I'm asking questions. I think my boys want to go with me. And Dad, you were wrong. We want to go with whoever kept the house.
So let me ask you a question. Your son now, does he feel like you all made y'all considered him? I mean, even with you staying and stuff, you felt like that was the best decision?
He did. He told me in the end, later on down the line, years later, he said, Dad, I appreciate you thinking about me. He said, because he said so many of his friends were getting divorced.
Okay.
So many of his friends were, contemplating divorce and leaving and breaking up the family. So the boys probably went with the dad and the girls went with the mom and split the family up. And he said he was glad that we didn't do that because he had a chance to finish his year out at his school, in his community with his friends, and he didn't have to worry about gaining new friends.
Right.
And so he thanked me in the end that I made the decision to stay with him. Even though it was tough on me, I made the decision to help him.
Yeah, because I think about because I was a sophomore, I believe had they waited 2 more years, which could have been tough. That's why I say I just saw the surface.
Right.
The 2 years that I believe that they could have stayed and endured, I believe would have made my life better. To me, I'm talking about
So you think you would have had a better attitude?
I do believe that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I believe I did because I say my attitude came with the divorce.
Okay.
Looking back over my life, I'm just saying that's the common denominator, that's the root of it, was them getting a divorce. However, who's to say I still wouldn't have had an attitude?
Right.
But that's what I have to hold on to. So when I think about it, to me, I think at the end of the day,
okay,
I'm not summing it up because I think we should talk more. But at the end of the day, I think you need to consider all parties involved.
Right, and consider the children, consider the environment, consider the attitude that your children are having now.
Exactly.
And would they have a better attitude if we stayed, or they have a negative attitude if we left?
Right.
So that's some things you should add into the equation too.
I agree with
when
that.
making a decision to leave. And I think you should get help as much as you can.
You got to get as much
Try
help.
to get some help as much as you can. If it's counseling, friends, get some older couples who've been through that struggle and knows what's going on. It can help you make a decent decision.
Exactly.
Put some more people in the equation and not just make a rash decision. Say, hey, I'm tired, I'm leaving, I'm gone.
And I think a lot of times we move on emotion.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm trying to hit it home. Yeah. I don't want you to leave on your emotions. I want you to stop and think about, am I in this situation because of what's going on, or why am I ready to leave? I got to be ready to leave for some reason. Something causing me to leave. Why am I leaving? And then if I leave, how would it affect everyone around me?
Right.
How would that dynamic? And like you said, if I don't have that support, just say if you were the one taking them to school, and then all of a sudden I leave, and I'm just saying the kids come with me, or vice versa, they go with you. How is that going to impact the children? So that's why I say it's a lot we got to consider. And just like you saying, get the help. I also believe the children need the help.
Absolutely.
I don't think we can leave the kids out, because to me that's the next generation. Whatever you point in, that's what they're going to take and carry on to their next relationship. Right. And I think that's what's happened to our families.
So we should think about them also.
We have to consider them.
Yes.
If we don't consider them, and then you grow up and you wonder why you, as a mother and child, y'all having such a strained relationship, or why we can't get along, because we never dealt with the stuff that was going on.
Right.
And because of your selfishness or whatever you was going through, and I'm not saying get the kids involved on all the details of what's going on. Right. But I think you have to consider them. Let them in, like I say, sir, let them know. And I do believe this, and I always said this. I believe if they would have came to me and said, right now, we're not getting along. Right. It's just really bad for us right now. Right now we just need to go our separate ways. Because to me, that talk never happened with me. Okay. It never happened. I'm just going to say it never happened with me. But I just knew about it just all of a sudden. It was just all of a sudden for me. Okay. So I believe if you have that talk, sit down, that we always talk about, you got to have that communication. Right. You have that, I believe you're able to move forward.
So you and I are in agreement now but if it's a toxic situation so bad where it's verbal abuse, physical abuse, by no means stay, right?
You don't stay for that.
You and I agree with that.
Yeah, you don't stay for that.
All right, we don't stay for that. But if it's just some, some small skirmishes and some disagreements and things like that, maybe we should try to work it out.
Or even some stuff that happened that we never resolved.
Right.
It could be, and I'm just telling y'all might not believe when I say this, because we said physical abuse, verbal abuse, stuff like that. And y'all, I'm serious, this is tough. Yeah. Even when there's infidelity, we need to try to work through that. Y'all like, what? Work through that? No. The scripture say Scripture have a lot of other reasons that you can leave.
Not only infidelity, right? Not only infidelity.
A lot of other reasons, but we picked that one out.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, if I said this is the man that the Lord has brought me, and I want to be with you,
this is the woman that the Lord sent me away. Yeah.
Yeah. So why can't we work through to me, we seem to work through everything else. Why not fight for this? Yeah,
and it seems like it's so easy for us to fly the coop nowadays. I mean, you look at it in mainstream in society and television, where couples get divorced after a year.
Right.
6 months.
Yeah.
How come we don't have that staying power anymore like we used to? Because we have couples that have been married 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. But after 5 years, we're ready to give it up.
Exactly.
After 3 or 4 years, we're ready to give it up. We need to build up some stability in our marriage, some strength in our marriage, so we can stay there with it for the long haul. Because you and I, we have disagreements. We don't just say, I'm going to get a divorce because we have a disagreement.
Right.
Or you and I have strong disagreements sometimes.
Exactly.
It doesn't give us a right to just jump up and leave.
Right.
So we need to get that stand power again. And what we're saying now today is that get you some help before you fly the coop.
Exactly.
Get some strong couples behind you, or get someone to come alongside you to help the husband, to help the wife. Stay in there, because at the end of the day, the bottom line is the children need to be strengthened and the family needs to be strengthened.
Because what you want to do is, to me, is break cycles.
Yes.
If
generational curses,
you got to break those, because if not, guess what? It's going to keep happening over and over and over again. Somehow we got to come together and say, look, Kenneth, we in this together. We not leaving regardless of what happened.
How can we strengthen this family?
And that's what we said to each other. Regardless of what happened, if it's something you're not doing and I need to let you know.
Right.
Because I don't want to go out there looking for it.
Right.
But if you're not I need to let you know how you can satisfy me and vice versa.
Right.
So I think, like Kenneth said, we are in agreement. We do need to consider the kids. And we wonder why. Yeah, the kids didn't even ask to be here.
Right.
They didn't ask to be in this toxic situation.
Right.
They didn't even ask to be a part of this. But until the main thing is you get yourself together.
Right.
If LAVIDA get herself together as a strong individual,
and then I get myself together as a man,
guess what? We can come together better as a team.
Each other.
Because think about it, and I'm gonna use a sports analogy. Think about that. All those football players, y'all know it's football season. I'm excited about football season.
Go Cowboys.
Okay, whatever. That's for another day. But anyway, all the football players, I just was hearing on the news how individuals was getting their bodies ready.
Yeah.
They was back at the weight they were when they was in college.
Yeah.
They done trained with personal trainers. They done got this. But guess what? They did that individual work to come and be a part of a team.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying in a marriage. I have to get my individual body right, mind right, to come with Kenneth so we can be better as a team.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
so that's what we have to do. And so guess what? If we're better as a team, guess what? Our other little team members that's coming
family members, right.
That's part of our team.
Yeah.
So we rallying that all together. We can't help but to be better.
Have a strength in the family, because at the end of the day, together we stand, divided we fall. We need to come together as a strong family nowadays, because we're losing that.
Yeah,
we don't have that strong family bond anymore like we used to. So we need to somewhere draw the line in the sand and say, hey, we're going to be this couple that stays together no matter what. We're going to try to work through it, struggle through it, strain through it, and make this marriage work so we can be a better family.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw the line in the sand.
Draw the line in the sand and say, hey, regardless of what's going on, we're going to try to make this thing work. We're going to try to make it work.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, y'all, all we're trying to do is allow you to have a healthy relationship.
It's not going to be perfect, but healthy.
A healthy relationship. So to sum it up, yes, to us, we agree. We believe you should consider everyone that's in that household before you make a decision.
Right.
Other than physical, mental abuse, you need to consider everyone else.
Right.
Even when it comes, and that's why I said we can get deep. I know I'm saying physical and mental. When it comes to drug use, that's another one you can just
gambling. Extensive gambling. Spending up all the money, spending up all the finances.
You don't have to stay for that. Yeah. I'm just saying, just talk about, at least just say, okay, you willing to get help, or he come to me, you willing to get help from spending all this money?
Yeah.
Or you willing to get help from this addiction
drug addiction,
you have?
And if alcohol addiction.
Then you don't have to stay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, make sure you consider all parties.
Yes.
Because what you don't want to do is continue the cycle of what you've gone through.
Right.
I always tell my couples when we have a class, what do you want to repeat and what would you like to revise?
Right.
So your child, they're going to be asked the same question. What would you like to repeat and what would you like to revise?
Right.
And hopefully they have more repeats than they do revise. So with that, y'all, you know we like to revive that relationship. So guess what? With you breaking those cycles, you're reviving that new relationship that you have. And guess what? At the end of the day, it begins to get restored. And guess what? We'll always be reunited. That's what we want.
You. I like
we
that.
want you to always be reunited
right there.
And come together as one, as a team. But guess what? Take care of yourself individually so you can have a better team.
Right. I like that.
All right.
That was good.
All right, y'all. So thank y'all. Tune in next week. We appreciate y'all watching us. And we'll see y'all next week. Let me give y'all a glimpse of kind of where we're going. I'm going to come into the camera. So I'm going to let y'all know. I'm going to walk away. Show y'all real quick before I say bye. This is kind of what we're looking at.
Beautiful.
This is kind of what we see.
Yes.
This is where we are. And with that, y'all, we're going to say bye.
Yes.
Y'all have a good one, and we will see y'all next time. Bye. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye. Bye-bye.